Hello, this is Chiak. We are back again with another set of Myst Masterpiece Edition. We're going to go into reading about this other place. Emmett was the first to live on the rocks. He named them the rocks because that is what they were, a group of sharp rocks clustered together in the middle of a large sea. This was where Emmett lived. He enjoyed his life. Emmett would occasionally swim to nearby rocks as it was never too far of a distance. One day, another person appeared on the rocks for no apparent reason to Emmett. Emmett named this new person Branch. Emmett and Branch quickly became friends, swimming and hunting for fish together often. Emmett showed Branch the simple cave in which he lived on the largest rock. Soon, Branch discovered a place where he decided to live, also on the same large rock. The sun always shone brightly in their world, and the water was always dazzlingly clear, allowing them to see almost to the deep ocean floor which surrounded them. Though the sun always shone, it was never too hot for the boys. Okay, you know what? Because most likely I'm just going to have to lower the volume of this game either way, so I'll just bear instead of just pausing the game itself. Light breeze always came from the north and cooled the area down. One day, while Branch was swimming and having fun in the water, he noticed another boy swimming. Branch thought the new boy brought the new boy to Emmett to find out what to call the new boy. Emmett said the boy should be called Will. Will was soon a part of the group, and all three of the boys swam and enjoyed their perfect world. At least, that is the story. I was told when I arrived today on the island, Emmett, Branch, and Will were surprised to see me at first, but even before the night ended, we were all becoming good friends. Today, the second day on this nearly created age, a strange thing happened. It was not strange to me, but the three boys did not understand what was happening. While I was relaxing under a large tree on one of the smaller rock islands, it began to rain. It was a nice rain that lasted for about an hour in the morning. I explained to the boys that the rain was not harmful, yet they obviously still feared it. Before going to sleep tonight, I told the boys I would leave the following day. I told them that while I was gone, I would make a surprising change in their world. They didn't understand that, not that I expected them to. I still do not fully understand what happened today. I was experimenting with the art, testing the limits of the rules as dictated to me by Father. I attempted to create a boat by riding it into the world. I thought everything was planned correctly, yet somehow the boat had become gripped by the rock and broke in half. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. Although this test did not turn out as I had hoped, I now have answers to a few of the questions my father never answered. As for the boat, I can see the boys enjoyed it anyway, and with that I am pleased. They have played on it all day. Even though the water cannot move, I have enjoyed studying from it. It is a much sturdier platform than the jagged rocks. In the course of my observations, I have learned some very interesting things regarding the solar system of this age. Submersible lamp. The nights are absolutely beautiful here. I have made note of and named the number of constellations that passed above me. Also, during the night, I catch glimmers of light from the horizon, which I have not been able to discover if it is created by some natural phenomenon or by additional people on far-off islands or rocks. I should very much like to discover which. I rather suspect it is additional people, which would explain the appearance of Branch and Will. The rain today was slightly heavier than usual. Just when the boys were getting used to the light rains, a small storm arrived. They were frightened of the heavier rain, not to mention the thunder and lightning. If the rain has never fallen here until recently, as the boys tell me, I would like to discover why it is falling now. Regardless, I have decided to return home for a short while. I have also been thinking of some plans for a lighthouse that I hope to construct soon. I think that perhaps by shining a bright light towards the horizon, it might prove my suspicions regarding additional inhabitants. They would be curious about the light and travel to discover its source, if they have the means. I return with many tools that I will need for construction of the lighthouse. I've decided that once the lighthouse is complete, I will leave for some time and let the world's own imagination have control. We have worked 3 weeks on the lighthouse now and are making great progress. The rock that we are building on seems to not be as secure as I would like. I have had to alter my plans slightly, but those alterations pose no real problem. The boys are quite strong and have been helping me immensely. I will estimate construction will be done within 2 days. The lighthouse is finished and we are all proud of our creation. The boys are amazed at the construct the boys are amazed at the structure wrought from rock with their own hands. That evening we powered up the generator, much to the boys' dread at first, and shined a great light to the horizon for many hours. I stayed that the night in the top of the lighthouse, and in the morning awoke to observe the sunrise without being coated with the chilly blanket of ocean dew I had become accustomed to. It was Will who first saw the girl. She was swimming not far from the boat where Will was getting ready to hunt for fish. Then Will noticed a man not far away from the girl. Emmett was very pleased to meet the additional neighbors. I feel pleased to leave this age. I have set in motion events that have nothing to do with writing or the art that will have a more profound impact on this world than I could ever have written. I think... And okay, disappeared. Stone ship age. Okay, so I think of it this age as a gift to myself that I will wrap up and open someday in the future, only to discover that it has changed so much that indeed it is a surprise. Besides, I have yet another new age that awaits me. It seems I'm going to need some way to travel underwater in this new age, and so much planning is in order. It has been 10 years since I left this age, which I have since called the Stone Ship Age. Upon returning, I cannot believe the changes that have taken place. The original 3 boys have grown into adults, and there are many new faces that I do not recognize. Branch told me that it has not rained for 7 years, and the cool breezes are back again. They are all very content and have been serving me with new foods and showing me new materials they have discovered. It even seems they have found gold somewhere. I see it in many forms around the island. My lighthouse has been in perfect condition, and it looks as if they have tried their very best to keep it so. Yeah, I have noted that the entire rock it was built on has sunk approximately 40 or 50 centimeters. I'm going to assume the place we're at is the Stone Ship Age. After a wonderful visit with my old friends, I wonder aloud with them what things will be here in another 10 years. Okay. I don't know. Ooh. See, I got a feeling... you show me a picture of an anchor, I'm like, oh, I saw this on one of the... Yeah, here we go. I'm taking a picture of these with my phone. And then the last one. Okay, might as well read the next. It has been a while since I have heard only silence, and I enjoy it greatly. I think for some reason I do not feel altogether welcome in this new world in which I have arrived. But how could I be unwelcome in an age with no inhabitants? It is, of course, only in my head. This world is very beautiful, but I think I have yet to ever write in a journal that an age I have linked to is horrid or disgusting. From the grassy hill where I am standing, I can see green fields below along with a few scattered forests. A rather large lake looms some distance from where I am standing, yet the water's blue can be seen plainly from here. The air is fresh and the sky is sparkled with white clouds. It is absolutely breathtaking, and yet that strange feeling again. Perhaps it is the hot breeze that continues to blow from the north, hotter than I would have imagined. It almost singes my skin, and I feel quite uncomfortable when it comes. I will try to ignore it. Night has almost arrived, and the sunset is spectacular. Oranges and reds have settled above the western horizon. Though night has come, the horizon still glows red, long past the sunset. Dark reds flow from the horizon and blend into the black sky. Again the feeling, and I am beginning to believe it is not at all in my mind. I must sleep now. I will need my strength to explore more tomorrow. I have had to return home due to an unpredictable natural occurrence more frightening than I have ever experienced. I was awakened by terrible shakings in the ground and explosions on all sides of me. Gigantic balls of fire were falling from the sky, and I immediately left in fear of my life. I must remember to bring a Myst linking book with me when I return, in case the ones left there have been destroyed or damaged. I have returned to a different world than the one I left only 3 months ago. It has been transformed into a barren desert land, with only gigantic craters scattered across the land to provide variety. Strangely enough, the small grassy hill where I spent my first night remains exactly the way I found it. Apparently, the falling meteors did not hit this area, leaving an oasis in the midst of this horrible desolation. The hot wind I remembered has turned into a rather pleasant breeze, which is at least one improvement. I fear it is the only improvement. The magnificent lake I saw on my first visit is now completely dried up. However, another lake now exists and appears to be quite a bit larger. I assume one of the falling meteors created this lake due to its circular shape and the jutting rock that grows out of the center of the lake. The rest of this world seems like desert, although I will verify that statement with closer inspection. Though this world has little visual excitement to offer, it offers much to the ears. Sounds constantly flow through my ears, and I have found where a few of them originate. It seems, as Catherine says, I do find beauty in everything. Last night I was awakened by a horrible hissing. I was sweating, and the heat was so intense that I immediately dipped my head in a nearby stream to cool it down. The hot breeze had returned, along with a low roar from the ground. I walked a short distance to observe some red flames shooting up from the earth. Suddenly the ground began to crack, and a huge chasm opened up. The chasm, I think it's chasm, right? The chasm continued to grow until it was far too wide to cross. Then the tumult, is that what I'm reading? Subsided, leaving only a dull roar. I decided, however, I can use the chasm to my advantage. Perhaps the heat from the chasm can be harnessed. Okay, look at you go. Even the chasm has ripped into the surface of this world. Even as the chasm has ripped into the surface of this world, it has opened up a whole new world to explore. Although uncomfortably hot, I found it possible to reach a cave in the chasm that had been created, and have now explored deep into the crust of this planet. I have found a vast underground cave system that will take many years to map and explore. I will also look for a safer way to reach the underground than through the chasm wall. This age seems to change on its own, so I feel I should leave again and see if things are different. When I return, it is also important that I check on Sirius and Eknar and make sure everything is going along well. When I return, I also hope to bring back some tools I would need for my plans to explore the underground. The abundance of raw materials here is beginning to amaze me. I have returned with some of the complete tools I knew I would be needing. I assumed I would have to return for more basic materials. However, it seems as though I will be able to find everything I need here. Of course, Iron is abundant, but I have also found titanium occurring naturally. I am all the more excited to begin work. Everything is set and I look forward to tomorrow. My raw materials are all here. I think I will be able to have most of my additions to this age completed within 1 year. I also love working with my hands, whether writing or building. This is I hope, and then it peters off. Okay. Well, and I've decided 3 meters is not enough support for the amazingly strong. Okay, this is the rocket. To be one of my most prized inventions, I am extreme. Would never have imagined it come together. I doubt could possibly work with 14. Could possibly work with 14 instead of completely fatigued. I am so happy to have something. I am leaving today in order to bring back Sirius and Eknar. I have left them alone in Channelwood. I believe they will enjoy all there is to see here. The age seems to have stabilized. I believe the meteors set off a period of volcanic activity by piercing into the shallow crust, but the tremors have become few. I have just noticed that a large amount of this journal has curiously vanished from the very pages on which I wrote over the last 18 months. Fortunately, I have copied many of my construction notes in another journal. I do not understand the many mysteries of this world, but I trust I will discover logical answers to my questions. I have a feeling that many of my questions can be answered in another age to which I hope to travel soon. For now, I must simply accept this world's mysteries and take pride in my accomplishments. Okay. Piano key set here. Just take a picture of that. Okay. Just trying to see if there's anything else here. Okay. I'm gonna leave that for another set, because we do have these. Thing is, there's no years, right? I didn't recall ever seeing anything that... Now, also right now, I'm trying to figure out which is the one that had the... Here you go. And then there's this one. Just want to see how far this number goes up. Quite far. My god. It keeps going. Am I not going to reach the end? Where's the end? I feel like I want... Okay, 300. I was about to say, is this just a big waste of time that I'm doing right now? Okay. So... So we have these that's going to be linked with the constellations. Now the hard part is that I really don't know with the images, because you have... Oh, that just completely changes. This thing changes the seconds? No, the minutes, sorry, not seconds. Oh, wait. Okay, this is just for the time itself, but What is this? This is month. I would assume this is day or day. Is that supposed to be the year? Nope, didn't mean to do that. Okay. 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 Quick look. Maple Leaf. So all these images correspond with something with constellations, but there's also me changing it to red and green, which I'm not sure what that is about. Then there's... I think I... Nope. Okay, I went too far, so here we go. There's this one here. Which again, what do I do here? Thing is, this dial didn't change in any way, so that's why I didn't know if I was actually having any sort of effect. Now, the hard part so far about this is I don't know what clues go to what. Actually, I'm not even sure if I have any clues. But I think a part of that would be me being able to access the library, right? Oh my god, there's another place here. Okay, so this has to do... Are these somehow the ages collided together? Okay. Okay, I turned it about 5 times. That's nothing. Okay. Is there a max point I can turn this? There is a max point I can turn this. I can't turn it any longer. Okay. So, my question right now... Yeah, I can't do anything else here. I mean, either... And is there any difference if it's all the way down? This is one thing I didn't notice. There's no way, like, that dial in the middle of this tank, or whatever it is, doesn't move. Okay, we're almost there. Yeah. So, absolute 0. Oh god. I mean, it doesn't look like anything changes, though. I mean, to me the image looks the same, unless it is changing, I just haven't noticed. Power to spaceship, but there's no numbers to designate what may be the power. It's 9, 19. One, 2, 10, 7. 8, 16, 5. This is very difficult because I don't know what effect. Like, I'm very clearly missing... I feel like I'm very clearly missing information. Which I would imagine it would be here. Oh, so did I? Okay, just making sure. But then when we tried to go to the library... Oh, hello. Library, please. Okay, and is that weird alcove? We can just hide in here. What is... Okay. Well... Huh. Okay, I can barely see it. There is a button here. So now I know what that thing was for, but there's 300 pages of it. Okay, we rotated the tower. Is that going to be able to give us access to this library now? I'm just wondering, like, I can't see if, like, maybe these openings or whatever. Did this change? It looks the same to me. I'm trying to remember. Where's the other ladder? Yeah, they look the exact same to me. So has it actually changed? Okay, back to the tower. Oh, whoa. Okay, so I have to move it myself. Which was what I was not expecting. Hence why nothing changed. But in what direction do I need to change it to? No, it doesn't look like anything's changed. I can't... Like, is that... I can't see it. It's like, is there something there for me to look at? That's what I should technically be aiming for? Maybe this has nothing to do with anything in here. Let's open up. Is the tower that I'm affecting the one up there? No, I want... Turn around. Turn around, please. I mean, I don't know if the game will change in any way. This is a sunken boat. Which I'm assuming if I rise up... I feel like I've seen images where if I rise up the ship, it will rise up the... thing. Is there anything here besides this? The music is very mysterious when you're there. There's nothing else to look at. Okay, we already solved this one. I got an idea of the constellation, but then I need like hard... There's nothing else here that I can look at? No. This is with the lighthouse. And then the constellations. Okay, either way, I need to end the set here. I think there's this one last book I haven't read yet, so thank you for liking if you like, thank you for commenting if you commented, thank you for subscribing if you subscribe, thank you for favoriting if you favorited. Thank you for simply clicking on this video. Until next time, guys. See ya.